Hey beautiful people, Hoodie here, coming to you live from my home office today. I was cleaning up and I came across this old document, this old piece of paper where I've scribbled all over. It's about a year old. And I thought before I threw it away, I'd just share it with you because it really captures one of those moments where my brain has completely disappeared down a rabbit hole and came back with something really unexpected. So, just to be clear, before I start on this, I'm not a physicist. I am not a quantum scientist. I don't know anything about any of that stuff, and I'm pretty sure none of this will actually work. So that's okay. I want to get that out. But I still think there's something interesting in the thinking process itself. The idea started when I heard somebody say something along the lines of time travel. And they said if humanity ever wants to invent a time machine, we'd better start by building the destination station now, like a train station, right? Because if someday in the future somebody wants to send back or come back, they're going to need some place to arrive, right? And I remember thinking, that's actually a really interesting idea. And I started to draw this, train station here. So I started sketching it out. And I had a station in the present and a station in the future. And then I ran into the first problem, right? Humans are really difficult. Humans have mass. Humans take up space. Humans need food and oxygen and all that sort of thing to exist. So moving a human through a time machine seemed incredibly difficult. But then I had a different thought. What if you didn't need to move a human? What if you only moved the information? And that's where things got a bit weird, because data doesn't really have mass like a human does. It doesn't really have volume. It just needs a medium. So I started reading about quantum mechanics. My God, I don't know why. Again, probably dangerous for somebody like me to read about quantum mechanics. But I came across an idea like superposition, entanglement, prepared qubits, all these crazy things started coming to me, which I barely understood then, and probably still don't understand super well now, but I wrote down a few things that caught my attention. Things like, and I've got them written here, entanglement is maintained if the system remains isolated and coherent. And data can be encoded into light pulses in fiber optics. And I started wondering, if information can exist in all these strange quantum states, could information travel through time more easily than matter? Could we send data back instead of people? And then I had another thought. What if the destination station wasn't a machine at all? What if it was an intelligence? What if AI itself became the station? A system that could preserve information, context, and ideas across time. And at that point, I was pretty deep into the rabbit hole. There's scribbling all over this thing, front and back, right? But I eventually came to the conclusion that it probably wouldn't work. It's not going to work. That's okay. But at least not the way I imagined it. Now, currently, physics seems to have some really strong opinions and objections to this whole thing, and that's fine, right? But something interesting happened. The idea evolved because I realized maybe the real question wasn't, how do I send information backwards through time? Maybe the real question was, how do I allow information to survive time? And suddenly I realized we already do this, right? Books do this. Music does this. Stories do this. Journals do it. Like, we have lots of ways. And now AI might be able to do it too. A book written 200 years ago can still change somebody's life today. So information still has currency. The information doesn't care about what year it is. It just waits for someone to discover it. So this failed time machine project became something else, right? It became a project about memory. It became about ideas and about preserving knowledge, and about whether the future versions of ourselves might one day have conversations with the past through things we leave behind. which is why I wanted to share this before I threw it out. Share this little document with you. Not because I think I invented a time machine, but because sometimes the value isn't in the answer. Sometimes the value is in following a strange idea far enough that it teaches you something completely different. Anyway, that's one of my abandoned projects from last year. I'd love to know what you guys think of it. I'm sure you think I'm an idiot, but I wanted to share it with you anyway. It's a strange thought experiment. Let me know what you think. There's my little train there. We're talking about, qubits and all these physical time travel, impossible for humans. What about for pure data? It's all there. Lots of little things on the front and back here. Strange little experiment, but I thought I would share it with you all. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.